When an Uchiha learns love, they must also bear the risk of hatred. Madara's warning in Naruto, it wasn't just about himself or Obito or Sasuke, it was a prophecy for every Uchiha that comes afterwards. And today, after a long time of waiting, it is now Sarada Uchiha's turn to eventually face it, because for the longest time, Sarada denied her love for Boruto, thinking it was a distraction from her dream of becoming Hokage. But the truth is, it's quite the opposite. Her love for Boruto is the key to unlocking her greatest strength, and yet by embracing that love, Sarada now steps into very dangerous territory, because with love comes the risk of hate, and when Sarada finally learns the truth about Kawaki sealing Naruto away and not actually killing him, which she does not know, and framing Boruto for a murder he never committed, she will be forced to face her clan's greatest test. Will she be consumed by hate, or will she learn to master it? Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video, where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, breaks down why Sarada's love for Boruto is her greatest weapon, why her Uchiha bloodline makes love and hate far more dangerous than anything else she could have hoped for, and why this moment will decide if she truly has what it takes to become Hokage. And we'll also be looking at 3 very important Shinto stories that align with where Sarada is currently. Also, if you've not seen the chapter review, that is up on the channel right now, so I strongly encourage you to watch that if you haven't already. That will be linked in the description box as well as the end credits. And don't forget to check out my Anime Explained channel, where I talk about non-Naruto content, and my Everything One Piece Explained channel, where I blind react to One Piece, but I also do explain videos because I'm almost caught up to One Piece. So jumping right into it, we got to start with the Uchiha paradox, which is love and hate. So the Uchiha clan, it isn't just some random powerful bloodline with shiny eyes. They are a clan that is defined by extremes. And by extremes, we mean the most extreme of the extreme. Tobirama Senju explained it best twice, actually. The Sharingan awakens through emotional trauma, through love being turned into grief or hate, or self-disappointment in oneself. Their Kekkei Genkai is not a physical one, like wood release or, say, ice release. It's a yin release Kekkei Genkai, meaning it is tied to the mind, the imagination, and most importantly to the emotions, the spirit. For the Uchiha, love, it isn't casual. Instead, love is absolute. When they love hard. Their bonds, they run so deep that the very chemistry of their brains, it literally changes whenever they experience deep love, or when they experience deep loss or disappointment in oneself. Itachi told Sasuke to embrace his hatred to grow stronger. Karin herself noted how Sasuke's chakra shifted in response to his emotions, where his chakra density was far greater than what he ever had when he was in his curse mark stage 2. We also saw Sasuke's chakra volume spike when he fought against Danzo, and spike again when he fought Kakashi, and countless times we saw his emotional state directly fuel into his power. Even outside the Uchiha, in Naruto Part 1, it told us repeatedly, which people tend to forget, but in every single arc this was noted. Most notably, Haku and the 3rd Hokage both said that love makes a shinobi stronger, gives them the ability to tap into their true power. This didn't just start with Boruto. This is another reminder that Ikimoto might understand Naruto lore better than some of the people bitching, but for the Uchiha, that truth, it is amplified to the absolute extreme. This is the paradox. Love gives them power, but it also opens the door to hatred. And that brings us to Sarada's greatest mistake. Basically, her denying herself love. And this isn't, oh, do I love Boruto? Does he love me? Love me not? Well, you pick the flowers on the petal. That ain't what we're getting at. So for years, Sarada placed all of her focus on becoming Hokage, and that's very admirable. She doesn't want to be just defined by her clan. She wants to lead the entire village, but in doing so, she made a mistake. She believed her feelings for Boruto, they were trivial, even a weakness that could derail her dream. In reality, by suppressing those feelings, Sarada was cutting herself off from her true well of powers as an Uchiha. Her emotional bonds, they were not a distraction, they were her fuel. This is why until recently she was stalling as a character and as a fighter. It looked like she was beginning to plateau. She had the drive, she had the Sharingan, she showed that she had improved since the end of Boruto Part 1 and Part 2. And she clearly had skills, but she wasn't tapping into the deepest part of herself. And for the longest time, everyone was asking, hey, where's her Mangekyo? Hey, where's her special powers, and etc. So the manga makes it clear, Sarada's reluctance to accept her feelings for Boruto held her back. It was only by finally embracing them, by opening up to Sumire and clearing the air, that she began to progress. Because it was verbal acknowledgement. During the Ryu fight, she began to accept it, but she was more so talking herself through her feelings. In this moment, she fully accepted them, but by then, she had already tapped into that hidden power. That moment, it wasn't just about romance, but everyone focused in on it, which is absolute bullshit. It was also about Sarada embracing the true nature of the Uchiha clan. Ironically, the very same clan that a lot of Naruto fans swear up and down is their favorite clan. Which, just to be ironic, that's another thing that Naruto fans and Dragon Ball fans share. You have a lot of Dragon Ball fans who swear Vegeta's their favorite character, and then they show time and time again they don't truly understand Vegeta's character. I'm seeing some discourse surrounding this Sarada and the Uchiha stuff that kind of shows that there are people that do not understand the Uchiha clan, despite that being their favorite clan. If that doesn't apply to you, don't take offense to it, but there are some people that have been misled, and I know where you got that nonsense from, and you've been misled by people that don't know Naruto as well as they think they do. So love awakens hate. That's where Madara's warning becomes very important. The actual quote is, when a man learns to love, he must bear the risk of hatred. Sarada embracing her love for Boruto, it is the first step towards unlocking her full Uchiha power and potential. But now she faces the risk that every Uchiha before her has struggled with, because what happens when she learns the truth? The true truth. When she finds out that Kawaki sealed Naruto, lied to everyone, used omnipotence to his advantage to frame Boruto for the Hokage's death, the rage and the sense of betrayal, it will hit her harder than anyone else. Naruto was her hero, her inspiration, her symbol of hope. Naruto was the guy that she wished would have actually been her father by her own words. And Boruto, the boy that she now says she loves, was unjustifiably turned into a criminal, chased out of her life. And along with Boruto being gone, Kawaki's responsible for her father being chased out the village and being stuck in that tree. Even though Boruto basically said, don't worry about Sasuke, we got this, we got to focus on taking down Hidari first. Sarada is going to lose it because she's going to put the pieces together. And she's going to know it's all because of Kawaki's actions. And she directly got in Kawaki's face in chapter 4 saying, if I think you are a threat to the village, I won't hesitate to try and kill you. She now has the power to stand up against him. This is where that line between love and hate does run the potential of blurring. Sarada will not only feel love's empowerment, but she will also feel the hatred that comes from betrayal, loss, and injustice. And that in of itself lends itself to another power amp. And that is the true test of someone who wants to be Hokage. Sarada's story isn't about avoiding these emotions. Accepting these emotions by confronting them doesn't make her weak either, and it doesn't just stall her character as a female character that is focused only on romance. If you think that, respectfully, you didn't read the chapter correctly and you weren't paying attention to what you read. To become Hokage, she can't suppress her love or deny her hate. She has to channel them. She has to master those emotions, and she has to use them as fuel without being consumed. That's the ultimate test for an Uchiha, in particular the first Uchiha born after the cycle of hatred was broken. Sasuke failed when his love for his family turned into vengeance. Madara failed when his love for his brother and his disappointment in his clan, siding with the Senju clan when he wanted to leave Konoha, twisted into a hatred for the world as he knew it. But Sarada, she has a chance to break that cycle. She does not have to go down the route of someone like Obito, who aspired to be Hokage and was corrupted by the world. She can rise above that. Her Mangekyo's Sharingan awakening, it wasn't just over the grief of Naruto's presumed death that was part of it. It was also about her love and her desperation to save Boruto and her disappointment in herself and not being able to do anything about it. That is the severe trauma. Again, despite what any clowns have told you here on YouTube, it was not a plot hole. Same with all those clowns on Reddit and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and whatever else you can think about. And in the future, her true challenge will be balancing out that same love and the hatred that comes from Kawaki's betrayal that it's going to ignite when she finds out. And make no mistake, she will find it out. And if she does succeed, if she does overcome all this, she will prove she is not only worthy of the Uchiha name and the crest that she wears on her back and what it symbolizes, a fanning a fire, the very will of fire that she wants to inherit as Hokage, but she will also be worthy of the Hokage title and truly worthy of being Naruto's proper successor as Hokage, because Shikamaru has not officially become Hokage yet. And that brings me to the Shinto lessons for Sarada's journey. And I'm going to warn you, this is kind of dark, but a lot of these Shinto stories are dark, but you have been warned. Throwing that in there because I got an email from some people last time. I went into one of these stories and they said, oh my God, this is so dark. And I didn't think that it was going to be like this, blah, 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 blah. I don't make content for kids. Sorry to the mother that got offended by it, but that's not my problem. So when we think about Sarada's test between love and hate, it's not just about the Uchiha or Naruto's themes. There are also parallels in Shinto mythology that mirror her struggle and serve as lessons for how she might overcome it. The first story is Amaterasu and Susanoo, the story of light versus chaos. So in Shinto myth, Amaterasu, the sun goddess, she represents light, order, and compassion, while her brother Susanoo represents storms and destruction and reckless rage. When Susanoo's violence drove Amaterasu into hiding, the world, it was plunged into darkness. This duality reflects Sarada's own journey. Her love for Boruto, her light, if you will, is what brings balance to her Uchiha power, but Kawaki's betrayal may awaken her Susanoo-like rage. It might be what makes us see her use Susanoo for the first time. The myth reminds us that an unchecked hatred darkens the world, but balance is what restores it. And in particular, love is what restores it. For Sarada, learning to hold onto her Amaterasu, her love for Boruto while taming her Susanoo, her hate for Kawaki when she finds out what Kawaki did, it will be the key to her future as Hokage. And the other side of her Susanoo could also be injustice done to innocent people like Boruto. Then when you get into Izanagi and Izanami, this is a story of love turned into vengeance, something that ironically fits a lot of Uchiha, and it also explains why Izanagi and Izanami are both hidden powers that Uchiha clan members have. So the story of Izanagi and Izanami is one of the most famous Shinto myths, and if you're familiar with Greek mythology, you probably know the Greek variation of this. But after Izanami died, Izanagi descended into the underworld to retrieve her. But he saw her corrupted form, he fled, and he sealed the path, leaving her behind. In her rage, Izanami vowed vengeance against the living by killing 1,000 people each day, and Izanagi restored 1,000 people plus one in order to balance things out. The myth, it mirrors the Uchiha curse. Deep love, when lost, transforms into hatred. That in turn leads to more power. It's essentially the same cycle that Tobirama described with the Sharingan, so much so that on 2 separate occasions in the manga, he talks about how hate makes the Uchiha stronger. And in the second time that he talks about it, he talks about why that's why he gave the Uchiha the police department, thinking that he could turn their deep love and the way that their powers are wired into an asset for the village. For Sarada, this myth, it is a warning. Love is her greatest weapon, but if she allows grief and betrayal to twist it, it will become her greatest downfall. Now, the other thing that we have is the story of the 3-legged crow, Yatagarasu. So that crow was sent by the gods to guide humans when they were lost. The crow symbolizes divine guidance through confusion and darkness. This could foreshadow Sarada's guidance role in Boruto's journey. Just as Yatagarasu led travelers back onto the right path, Sarada's unwavering belief in Boruto might be the very thing that helps him return from his exile and keep his path steady. In turn, Boruto's presence may guide her away from succumbing to hatred when Kawaki's lies are eventually exposed, and Sumire hearing the truth was not by accident, happening one chapter before Sarada makes her confession. So the lessons for Sarada, when you take all these together, these Shinto myths, they teach Sarada multiple lessons. With Amaterasu and Susanoo, it is the lesson that you have to balance love and rage. With Izanagi and Izanami, it is the lesson, do not let love turn into vengeance. And with Yatagarasu, the lesson is, even in darkness, trust guidance and trust in bonds. Ironically, these are 3 lessons that, you guessed it, you can find in Naruto's manga. But we still have people in 2025 that swear up and down that Boruto does not continue anything from Naruto. Again, Ikimoto understands the Naruto lore and the concepts and things that nature better than some of the people critiquing, saying that it's completely disconnected from Naruto thematically when it isn't. With all due respect, this is where we take that ramen noodle doodle out of our mouth, stop slurping for a second. I'm as big of a Naruto fan as there is. I'm somebody that dropped Boruto for a very extended period. And even I can look at it and say, hey, there are some connections here. There is stuff being continued. From character arcs to world building to, in this case, continuing concepts that were critical to Naruto that it seems like a lot of people either forgot or they're just being intentionally, willfully ignorant because of Boruto derangement syndrome. I said it, I'm not taking it back. Again, if it does not apply to you, don't take offense to it. If it does offend you, ask yourself, why does it offend you? For readers, these stories remind us why Sarada's arc is so important. She represents the potential to finally break the Uchiha curse by proving that love can empower without being corrupted by hate. Sarada, she is at a crossroads right now. By embracing her love for Boruto, she has finally unlocked the first step in her Uchiha power, but that step comes with the risk of hate spilling over. The Uchiha clan is a clan defined by their emotions, their yin chakra, and the dangerous interplay of love and hatred. And Sarada, she's walking a razor's edge between these two. The question now isn't whether or not she'll feel hate, because she will eventually. The question is whether or not she can channel it and control it and transform it into strength without losing herself. That will decide her fate as an Uchiha. Does she do what Tobirama said and that just leads to Uchiha self-destructing, or does this lead to her destiny as Hokage? Will Sarada break the Uchiha cycle, or will Madara's warning yet again come true? Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, clicking on the left for the chapter review, or click here on the right to check out videos from other 2 anime channels where I talk about non-Naruto content.